This is John Lennon's 1958 Rickenbacker 325 guitar. And this is not John Lennon's 1958 Rickenbacker 325 guitar. But we are going to transform it into a version of the original. You see, this guitar went through many alterations in its life, but we're going to focus on the guitar that he played on the first Ed Sullivan Show appearance. So stick around, this is going to get interesting. This was the guitar that he used in the early years of the Beatles' career from 1960 to 1964. It's the guitar he played on the first appearance that he made on the Ed Sullivan Show with the Beatles, although the two times that they played in February 1964 were only 1 week apart. The guitar seemed to have gone through a little modification in that week, or should I say, a little switcheroo. You see, when he got the guitar in the early 60s, it was a natural blonde. It had a Kaufman vibrola, which he later switched out to a Bigsby. The bridge was changed to this bow tie style bridge that came with the Bigsby, and oven knobs that he switched out as well. And he had the guitar refinished and painted black. At the same time, the pickguard was changed as well as the tuners. But in that week between the two Ed Sullivan shows, I think John decided the guitar was a little beat up and not quite TV ready, and they had some success from the show, so Rickenbacker gave him a brand new 325 to play for the second show. But for today, we're going to focus on getting this guitar on my bench to look more like the guitar in that first appearance. So as I mentioned, the knobs need to be changed out, and he brought me, I think, are they going to be the correct knobs. Also, the bridge needs to be swapped out. He's got the original bow tie style bridge to change this one out. This little riser, I'm going to take that off. Set of flat wound strings, heavy, and that should take care of it. Let's go ahead and get started. Take these strings off and figure out what we got to do to change out this bridge. Okay, we're going to also be setting this guitar up, of course. It's always a good idea to make sure the strings are going to be comparable, so you know if you need to adjust the neck. If you go to a lighter gauge, heavier gauge, typically you need to adjust the neck. So this bridge, it's up on these adjustment screws, sits on a plate that's mounted to the top of the guitar. I'm not sure we want to do it that same way, or probably we'll be removing this plate. Before I take this plate off, I was doing a little measuring on the fingerboard. Whenever you're changing the bridge, especially a pre-made bridge with a saddle that already has a radius on it, check the fingerboard and make sure that the radius matches. This radius seems to be a 10-inch, but if you look at the radius on this bridge here, it's definitely flatter than 10-inch. Looks to be about a 16-inch radius, so that's really not going to work exactly the way we want it to. So they have to do some modifications to this bridge to get this radius to be a 10-inch radius. It's got these little rubber spacers here. Save those. And then the screws. Pretty long, heavy-duty screw for just a pickguard. In case you don't know how a Bigsby works, you got this arm here, and it rotates this little shaft where the string, the ball ends go through these little posts, wrap around. They go over the top and then go under here to get the break angle. And this little spring sits right here and gives it its flexibility there. Let me see if I have any better screws I can use. I noticed he said these pots were a little loose, and I don't think he's played it in a while. So let me plug it in and see. Up position is these two pickups. Middle, all three. Down is just the bridge. Okay, here's the bridge volume. 2 volumes? All 3. Maybe this is a master volume. I'm actually pretty clueless on how this works. Maybe by the end of this video I'll have it figured out for you and I'll show you. 3 individual volumes and a master volume. No tone? Well, it's tight. Okay. There we go. Let's get the rest of these knobs off. This is a 325 model V59. So I'm assuming that's maybe a 59 version. JG, not sure what that is. I'll look that up and see if I have any info on it. I'll put it on the screen. JG is Jet Glow, which is the color of the black, Jet Glow black. So these 3 holes are not countersunk to match the existing. So I'm going to go ahead and countersink those and remount this pick guard with those knobs. And then I'm going to re-radius this to match the radius of the fingerboard. Okay, the screws are done. Make sure these are all tight. And the knobs, sometimes you can have it so this little set screw indicates like when it's on full 10, so you kind of have an idea. That's one way to do it. Another way is to turn it so you don't see it, but that's up to the customer kind of. I'm gonna set it up this way. I like that little indication. Okay, good. So there's finish under that plate. This is gonna sit right there. Let me just re-radius this now. Just double checking the radius on the fingerboard. 9.5 is what it appears to be, and that works out because I don't have a 10-inch sanding block. I'm going to put a little color on the top of this bridge so I can see, because what I don't want to do is remove any material from the middle, just from the ends. There, now you can see, and it should be the 9.5-inch radius now. There's no more red left, and that should be the correct radius. Let's double check that. And then I can just go and polish up this top surface and put it on the guitar. Okay, now I'm ready to install the bridge and put the strings on it. And the bridge, you can see it's got an intonation already installed in it. When you see this little jump back there, that's always the B string, because that's the one that always needs to come back a little further than the rest of them. As far as setting the height on this, I'm going to do it when I get the strings on it. I just want to get it kind of in a rough position. And so if I put the straight edge on top of the frets, it runs into the bridge a little bit, and I want it to be up just a little bit more. I'd rather have to drop it than lower it. Raise it. It's a little easier to turn these thumb wheels to lower it than to raise it without loosening the tension. We're going to put on these Pyramid Gold flat wounds, medium, heavy. In case you haven't strung up a Bigsby before, it's a little bit different. Basically, you got your ball into the string. What I usually do is I'll just take it from right behind the ball, maybe even right from the ball. Start to create a little loop in the end of the string. Then I'll run this under this stop piece, put it through the pin, and I'll hold it here with a capo. Now I can go ahead and set up the string through the tuners without losing that position. So I got it strung up, and something just struck me as I was setting the action. To get it to a decent action, this thumb wheel has to be raised up so high that this bridge is starting to lean forward. It seems as though this plate needs to get back in there. I didn't think so when I had the strings off it, but I think this will fix the problem. Let me put the plate back in there, see if that fixes it. Okay, now I got that pretty much set. Got that plate back in there. Got the bridge placed. I got the action set. I got 4/64ths on the high and the low. Let's see how it plays. These flat wounds, it's not going to be doing any shredding on here, so. All right, plays well. Let's see how it sounds. Still don't know what these dops do.